we are making a Resident Evil tier list. What's the worst that could happen? Have bad opinions on the internet? I'm very familiar with that already, so might as well put even more bad opinions out there. Am I right, fellas? So, let me explain some things. Just because I have an opinion does not mean it's the correct opinion. So, if you like the ships that I don't like, great. If you don't like the ships I like, great. This is just for funsies. For my Resident Evil knowledge, I have played every single numbered Resident Evil game except for 0. Technically, I'm not finished with 8, but I'm pretty much there. And I already have, like, a good opinion on Ethan and Mia's relationship, so I'm not too concerned with that. Most of these I will rank. Some of these, like, weird ones down here, I will not be ranking. They're irrelevant. The first ship on here is just a weird one. It's Chris and Ethan. Well, Chris kills Ethan's wife, so I don't think that's quite a positive start to a relationship, killing their significant other. And then Chris just, like, steals Ethan's baby. Unless the secret ending of 8 is just Chris, like, apologizing and just making out with Ethan, I'm gonna put it in just terrible. Because, like I said, not only does Chris kill Ethan's wife, like, just with one shot, no, there's multiple shots into Mia to kill her. I don't think there's anything positive that could come out of this ship. I think this would just be the most toxic ship imaginable because of Ethan's prior murdering of Chris's prior murdering of Ethan's wife. Next one on here is Chris and Rebecca. I'm gonna abstain from this one. I'm gonna put it down here because I legitimately don't know anything about Rebecca. I have not played 0. I haven't played Chris's route in RE1. I've only played Jill's, so I'm just gonna abstain from Chris and Rebecca as a ship. We'll put it down here with the other things that I won't rate. Now we have Krauser and Leon. Now, this is an interesting one. I think there's some potential here. You definitely got, like, the yaoi potential romance of ex-military allies, or whatever Leon was in. Was he in, like, the military? He was in something like that, with Krauser, before, you know, Krauser got evil. And it's like a friends to enemies to, you could possibly do lovers, but then again, Leon does kill Krauser in Resident Evil 4. The ship literally couldn't work because, one, Krauser's dead. But theoretically, if Krauser was still alive, if we, like, AU'd where Leon does not kill Krauser and actually gets him help and doesn't turn into that thing, I think there's potential there. There's that past history. So I'm gonna put it in It's Okay, I guess. Because there's definitely a connection there. They could work. Like, they could have a nice soft, let me help you out, Krauser, and then it just turns into a soft romance. A soft yaoi, if you will. So I'm gonna leave it in It's Okay, I guess, because there's definitely better Leon ships out there that I think Leon has the most ships on here, if I'm not mistaken. So I would say this is probably the most bottom tier of Leon ship, but it's not horribly toxic like Chris and Ethan over here. Now this one's a crack ship, but I will rate this because I know both characters, and I will think in a theoretical sense. We have Ada and Claire. Now with Ada and Claire, that would be a dynamic duo. If they had a game together, I think possibly their cooperation would be great. You'd have, like, Claire trying to get all in Ada's business and Ada just being like, shut up, but there's, like, tension there, and I could see it. You know, I know there's, like, no hard evidence that Claire is a lesbian or, like, likes women, but she gives off the vibes, you know? So I could see Claire just, like, kind of staring at a badass woman and being like, okay, maybe she's kind of cool. Now, does Ada have better ship options? Definitely, because Leon. We'll get to that one. Yeah, Claire really comes off as a bi queen, and Ada does not seem like she would turn down a woman if she found her hot enough, you know? I think they both could be bi. And I honestly, if Resident Evil is taking suggestions for games, I would love to see an Ada Claire game. Just to see how they would interact. I think she would love Claire because she loved Leon as, like, that, like, puppy dog. And Claire kind of has, like, those vibes, but is also badass. So I think they could get along great as a ship, but would they last? Probably not. They don't seem like a long-term ship, if you know what I mean. They definitely seem like something would happen maybe one time, right? But I don't think it would be a continuous ship going on, you know? I think that they just would not be meant to be. They're not OTP material, but you know, it'd be fun. I think between them it would be fun. So I'm gonna put them in it's great because of the theoreticals. Now, with in-game content, there's nothing there. There's absolutely nothing between Ada and Claire, but hypotheticals and theoreticals, I think it would be a great ship. I think it would be a nice, fun, wild ship, but would not last. So I'm gonna leave it at it's great. Now we're coming up to a actual real ship that I think people really ship. These three so far have been, I guess people can ship them, but I've never heard people shipping them. Now we're coming up to our first real ship of Resident Evil. So the first real ship is Jake and Sherry from Resident Evil 6. Now you all need to applaud me for not saying Shake and Jerry. Every time I play Resident Evil 6, I want to say Shake and Jerry so goddamn bad. Because that's, I don't know, those are just words. I love this ship. Is Resident Evil 6 a good game? No. But Jake and Sherry as characters are really underrated. Like, if anything, if anything that came out of 6 that was good, it was a grown-up Sherry from Resident Evil 2, and then the son of Albert Wesker coming together and just pairing up. It's just that kind of, like, fan fiction, perfect AU, like, I don't know, like, it seems straight out of, like, fan fiction to be like, oh, the son of Albert Wesker and the daughter of William Birkin going on an adventure and maybe having a romantic time together. It seems like the most romantic of Resident Evil fanfiction. Like, that whole premise. If you said that was in an actual game, people would be like, what? But no, it happened in Resident Evil 6. So, Sherry, of course, like I said, we know from Resident Evil 2, and now she's grown up and she is like, yeah, Claire and Chris, they're my buddy old pals, so I want to help out the world. And she's kind of like headstrong. She's not a pushover. She's really cool. She's honestly a badass character. And then you have Jake, who's like, I'm only in this for money, dude. I don't care about nobody as long as I get paid. And she's just like, ugh, I would never like a guy like him. Jake and Sherry, it's definitely that Sherry is like, no, I'm just working with him until I have to stop working with him at first. And then they just slowly start to like bond. And then he's caring less about the money. He still cares about the money, don't get me wrong. He's like, my blood is valuable, I know that, so I'm gonna milk this for all it's worth. But then he starts to really start caring about Sherry, and he's like, damn, maybe she got me though. And I really like this ship. As you progress through 6, if there's anything that's good about 6, it's their relationship. It's cute, it's that typical, they wouldn't like each other until you put them together in a situation. And then the latter half of the game, they just become really good partners. But I'm gonna put Jake and Sherry in my favorites. Unfortunately, they're only in the one game together. Jake and Sherry do not get past Resident Evil 6. To be fair, you could say this about anyone, but like, you think about characters like Leon, Jill, and whatever, they got into that movie. I haven't seen it yet. And like, if you think about iconic Resident Evil characters, they're nowhere in the discussion. But yeah, Jake and Sherry, like, they have that strong connection, they're great, but you want more, and Capcom's like, here's your characters once, and we're kind of done with them. Capcom has Resident Evil has a really bad habit of just introducing characters that have pretty cool concepts, and then just never doing anything with them ever again. Like, technically, this is Sherry's second game because she is in Resident Evil 2. There's so many potentials for side Resident Evil games. I could definitely see, like, a side game with these two reconnecting and, you know, give, like, these characters that just get pushed after the one game. Sheva has been gone from the series since 2009. We have not heard a single thing about Sheva since 2009. Jake and Sherry are prime examples of this, like, and they're not afraid of, like, kind of having a romance. Like, when we get to Ada and Leon, that's, like, the strongest romance in the game, arguably. Like, they're not afraid to do it. I guess you could say they have kind of commitment issues because they're not technically together, if you want to put a technical term on that. You could easily get them together. Why not? The ending for Resident Evil 6 for their route, they're still texting each other. You could have them reconnect. You could have them officially get together, Capcom, if you really wanted to. But it's just like, oh well. What could have been is what could have been. Okay. Rebecca and Billy, like I said, 0 is the one numbered game I have not played, so I can't really rank them. I haven't even seen people ship them that much. Ooh, we're getting into a spicy one here. We have Claire and Leon. This one's an interesting one for me, because when I was starting out getting into the series, like early teenager for me, I thought Claire and Leon were like OTP. I was like, wow, they're so cute together. I thought this ship was the best ship in Resident Evil when I was a teenager, and had not played anything other than Darkside Chronicles and Umbrella Chronicles, and watched Resident Evil Degeneration, I think it is, the movie with Claire and Leon. Purely watching that and playing those games, yeah, I thought that ship was the bomb diggity. When you actually play Resident Evil 2, it's like, wow, they don't even interact that much. They're just completely different routes. They're not even, like, together. Claire is just never to be seen again with Leon. So, that's an L. Like I said, the most that they interact in is, like, Degeneration, which is just a movie. But they're still cute. And, like, the ending of 2, where they're kind of just walking hand in hand with Sherry, it's like, oh, this is kind of cute. They're like a little family. Are they really romantic in a are they really chemistry-wise compatible? I mean, Leon's an awkward guy in the beginning when she meets him, and he's just... My favorite is always when she's like, this is Sherry. Okay. Like, they have better friend potential than romantic potential, is just how I see it at the end of the day. I don't think they wouldn't work as a couple. I think they'd be the most boring, on-brand kind of couple. They would work, but they'd be boring. There's no spice in the life. And Leon would just sit there and be like, oh, wow, this romance or this relationship's working out pretty swell, huh? While thinking about Ada and being like, damn, I wish I could just, like, jump off a building with her or something. Like, my man Leon needs some spice in his life. So I'm gonna put Leon and Claire, I'm gonna put it in It's Great. I'm gonna put them above Ada and Claire because, you know, they're not a real ship. I'm gonna put it in It's Great because they would work together. I don't think that they would be toxic or dislike each other. They would work, but they're not incredibly interesting as a couple. Next one, okay, I'm gonna tweak this a little bit. We are using Ashley from the remake version. Leon and Ashley from the OG? No, that's jail. Straight to jail. Because Ashley's what, like 16, 17 in the OG? Meanwhile, she's bumped up to being a college student in the remake. So yeah, OG Leon and Ashley, jail. So we're gonna talk about remake Leon and Ashley. Now, remake Leon and Ashley, that one's kind of interesting. Because Ashley is clearly flirting with Leon, like, throughout the entire time that they're together. Yeah. But Leon is, like, not giving anything back. Like, clearly Ashley's, like, this young girl who's like, ooh, this hot guy that my dad, the president, sent me. He's saving me. I mean, he's appropriate. He's like, yeah, this is my work assignment. I'm not really flirting with her. So I don't know if he's holding off on the flirting because this is his job, so he's not mixing the two together. Or if he's just, like, genuinely not interested in Ashley because, again, she's, like, what, like 20-something? 21 in remake? And then he's, like, in his 30s, I think? Like, they kind of have, like, that fun dynamic. But I don't really see them as, like, ship potential because, like I said, that gap is just a little too massive for me. It's clearly one-sided on Ashley, and Leon is, like, way more into, like, Ada during 4. So I'm gonna put them in It's Okay, I guess. Jill and Wesker. Don't tell me there's anyone shipping this. We already know where this is going. This is just straight up disgusting, gross. Absolutely. Like, if you ship it, nah. This is just straight up manipulative and, like, disgusting. I don't know what else to say besides, literally Wesker, like, kind of takes Jill's thought to be dead body, and then, because she, like, launches him out a window in 5 to, like, try to kill him. And then he's like, nope, you're not dying today, Jill. And then just makes her blonde and tries to kill Chris. I don't want to think of, like, any implications of that ship being, like, a thing. If I'm remembering correctly, the live-action Jill is a little fond of Wesker, but, like I said, not taking that into consideration. That does not count. In the game verse, I don't recall if she's, like, secretly or, like, low-key into Wesker, but obviously that would go all out the window for what he does to her in 5. So we're gonna leave this in just terrible, because toxic, absolutely toxic. He would not give a shit to maintain a relationship. So yeah, and my girl Jill is better than that. She is better than that to stay with a man that did this shit to her. So it's staying in just terrible. Worst ship so far, absolutely, hands down. This is probably the second most popular ship on here in Resident Evil, but I have hot takes about this one. This isn't even my favorite Jill ship. And everyone collectively is starting to type on the keyboard like, what are you gonna say about Jill and Chris? It's okay. Oh, this is absolutely controversial warning. Behind Ada and Leon, I want to say Jill and Chris are, like, second most shipped in the Resident Evil verse. Because, obviously, they're partners. They have done so much together. But I think, like, 5 kind of gives us this, like, more romantic sense to them than games previous to 5. Because in the first game, you either play as Jill or Chris, so they're not even near each other. You're saving each other. Events leading up to actual 5, you have this whole, Chris is like, I gotta do this for my partner, and the whole reason he's, like, trudging through this is for Jill, and then when he sees Jill again, it's like, oh my god, he clearly has this connection with Jill. But then after that, like, where is any of the ship potential? After 5, Chris kind of just goes off the deep end, like, for his mental state. I mean, you can't blame the guy, because he kind of loses his entire team in 6, so he just becomes, like, a recluse alcoholic. You'd think if he was, like, close with Jill, he'd be giving her a call, like, hey, I just need someone to talk to, you know? No, like, there's, like, no mention of Jill in 6, or, like, anything with Chris afterwards. Like, it's just like she just disappeared from his life. Like, did she leave his ass? Is she just not talking to him anymore? Did he, like, just do something? He's like, yeah, no, I'm good. So, like, everyone always points to 5 as, like, the main shipping potential between these two, but it's literally just, like, a prequel DLC. So I have to put them in It's Okay, I guess, and I'm gonna put them above Leon and Ashley, because they're definitely close friends at some point, but that has had to have fizzled out at this point because of how Chris is now. And I guess that's another reason why I don't think their relationship would really work. Because of how Chris just, like, his whole mental state just deteriorates, and he's clearly not really getting help. They could definitely work out if Jill took him to therapy, but, like, they had the potential to be a really cute ship, and at, like, one point, I did really like the ship. But this was before I played Resident Evil 3. Next is Ada and Krauser. Do they really have that much of a connection? Like, I don't even know what I would talk about with these two. Besides, like, bothering Leon? I'm putting it in just terrible. Like, you know, I'll put them above these because this is genuinely toxic. But, like, where is any of the shipping potential here? That's my thing with this, is like, what is there to ship? Sorry, that's not her Pookie Bear Leon. I don't think she would give a shit. Ada would have better things to do. I don't think she would settle for this dude. We have Excella and Wesker. Who is shipping that? They're both... This is from Resident Evil 5. I don't even... I mean, Excella, I guess, is kind of things... I don't even know what to say. Like, it's not a crack ship because they work together. But, like, there's no real, like, romantic chemistry there, so... Just terrible, I guess. Like, I don't know where else to put it. There's no chemistry there. William and Annette Birkin. They were kind of going towards divorce, am I right? William was like, in his research, they weren't being good parents. I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna put them at the lowest of It's Okay, I guess. Because they were married, so they had to have something, I guess. I mean, they're both dead now, so... Ada and Annette. Just terrible. Like, who... I'll put him at the upper end because, like, there was tension there, but I wouldn't consider it sexual tension. So, now we got Luis and Leon. This one's interesting. Now, Luis and Leon definitely kind of have, like, somewhat of a chemistry with each other. Now, remake, they're definitely, I feel like there's definitely more going on there. Like, I don't know, it's playful. I don't dislike it. Do I personally ship it? No. I think it's kind of a fun ship. It's not something that would be horribly serious, but I think it'd be a nice little fun thing. I'm gonna put them, oh, do I put them above Claire and Leon? I'm gonna put them behind Claire and Leon. I'm gonna say Luis and Leon, maybe they had a fun little side thing, but I don't really see them as, like, the type to have a serious relationship. So I'm gonna leave them in, it's great. Ada and Helena from Resident Evil 6. If I'm remembering correctly, was Ada the one that, like, injected her sister with the virus? No. She had something to do with it, didn't she? It's been quite a bit since I played 6. That's determining where I'm putting this. I feel like Ada had something to do with her sister getting infected with the virus, right? Or was that, like, her clone kind of thing? See, 6 is, like... It does not help when you don't remember things in 6. Yeah, okay, it was fake Ada. Alright, I mean, Helena's a badass woman. Ada was a badass woman, or is a badass woman. Is there any sort of, like, romantic or sexual chemistry there? Not really. I don't think it's terrible. Like, I mean, I'm a gay. I'm gonna put it at the end of It's Okay, I guess. Because if they did kind of have more of an interaction, maybe it would work out. I don't know. Helena kind of gave me straight girl vibes. Maybe some bi vibes, but I just don't really see anything working out. It's not toxic. Oh man, this next ship. Okay. Like I said, I have not played Veronica personally. But Steve? Oh my god, what a terrible character. Oh, we're hating on Steve. The thing that comes off the top of my head besides Steve just being annoying as hell, and, like, Claire just not giving him the time of day. Like, towards the end, of course, when Steve, like, sacrifices himself, she, like, gets a little sad, but, like, I'm not considering that true romance. Like, this dude almost kisses her when she's asleep. That's just straight up creepy, dude. So I'm putting them in just terrible because Steve's annoying. Claire was not really finding his annoyance endearing either. She was on a mission to find her brother, so this dude just being annoying was not helping. And then him trying to kiss her when she's asleep. Need I say more about why this relationship is just terrible? No. Absolute worst. Okay, maybe not worst, but, like, definitely needs to be towards the bottom 3 here. Okay, ooh. Going from no TP to OTP. Ada and Leon. You know where they're going, baby. You know where they're going, baby. They have the strongest case to being an actual couple in the Resident Evil verse. Not only have they kissed in Resident Evil 2, but they're cute as hell. Leon loves that she's an absolute baddie. Like, he's just this soft dude in Resident Evil 2, and then Ada just comes into his life, and he's like, damn, I need me a bad bitch. And they've been in the most games together, if I'm not mistaken, with 2, 4, and 6. They've all interacted in those. So it's carried on throughout those games. In 2, the whole initial attraction starts. In 4, Leon is still pining after her, and, like, the feelings come rushing back as soon as he sees her again in 4, and, like, there's still that tension and chemistry together that, even through time, has never faded. And then in 6, he's like, there's no way that Ada is doing terrible shit. Yeah, she does some bad things from time to time, but she's not the worst. Like, Leon will defend Ada through anything. Like, he knows she does some bad and questionable shit, but he knows, he's like, nah, not my baddie. My baddie ain't that bad. You know what I mean? I think they're absolutely adorable. They belong in OTP. Jill and Carlos. Now, you thought Leon and Ada was OTP. I'm about to come out here with the probably not the most popular opinions here. I'm putting them above it. I'm putting Jill and Carlos as my favorite ship from Resident Evil. If you follow me on Twitter, You know that this is true already because I do tend to retweet and like art of them. I know they're in one game together, but like, that's all I needed. Resident Evil 3 Remake was all I needed to ship these two. The insane things that Carlos does for Jill in Resident Evil 3 when he barely knows her. This man is down bad for Jill. Throughout the entire game, he's like, okay, she hot. And it's like, yeah, he's not wrong. Jill is hot. Jill's the best character ever. And the fact that he walked hours to see her again off of a train because he cared about her. And then he did all this shit to get her the cure because she had the virus. That man is a 10 out of 10. That man is a 10 out of 10, and I don't even like men like that. Nah, this man did so much for Jill. And like I said, he barely even knew her. But he's like, you know, I think you're a good woman, and maybe I'm gonna try to shoot my shot. He excelled in shooting his shot. This is gonna go into definite hypothetical territories. You know how Jill jumped out a fucking window to get Wesker out of the building for Chris, to save Chris? Carlos would have gone after her. Carlos would have also jumped out the damn window to go and rescue her. He would have not let her do that kind of shit. He would have jumped out the window for her. Juby, you don't know that. No. The events in 3, this man would have done anything for Jill. And if that's not true love, I don't know what is. Because the stuff that he does for her, maybe it's not the most romantic, but like, he doesn't do this for anybody. He just finds Jill, thinks she's hot, wants a chance with her. He's like, all right, but Juby, this could be very one-sided. Jill doesn't exactly shoot down his advances. She's not like super flirtatious with him, but she doesn't like mind him. And I think like, after they actually went on a couple dates together, I think they'd be a really fun couple. Do I think Jill is kind of for the girlies too? I do. Like, she kind of has posters of women in her room, so bye queen, I think. If there's anything above wanting a Jill and Leon game together, give me another Carlos and Jill game. I loved these two together in 3. I know a lot of people don't like 3, but they carried 3 for me. I was like, they're so good. So, they're my absolute favorite Resident Evil ship. Like, just the potential of, like, how cute they would be is through the roof, in my opinion. You never know, she could be living with Carlos. This man would have gone after her if he knew. Probably no one told him. He'd probably been missing Jill, but nobody was like, maybe he was looking for her too. You never know. That can be my headcanon now, that Carlos was looking for her. But, who is this? Wesker and Birkin? We're not even having that debate. Who's even thinking of that? We have Chris and Sheva. Sheva has been in the Shadow Realm since 2009. I think they're decent comrades. Sheva had more of a thing with Josh going on, because I think they were previous colleagues before 5, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a bit since I played 5. Chris and Sheva as a ship, they didn't really have those kind of vibes, and like I said, Chris was like on the dead route to saving Jill or like getting revenge for Jill, and Sheva wasn't really putting that out there either, so I'm gonna put them in It's Okay, I guess, but under Leon and Ashley. Sheva was 23? What? I thought Sheva was like 30. Chris was 35 and Sheva was what? I did not know that. I knew Chris was like in his 30s. But I didn't know Sheva was 23. I don't know if like I said, I don't like major gaps like that. That's a bad gap. 23? I didn't think Sheva was 23, dude. I genuinely thought she was like 28 at the youngest. You do whatever you want to do. It's just my personal, like, I'm not for it. Oh, do I want to move them down to just terrible for that? 12 years, that's a big one. If it was under 10, yeah, alright, I'm putting them, I'm gonna put them at the very top of just terrible then. She looks about 25, 26. I'm 26. Yeah, mid-20s, that's what I thought. Damn, I don't know why I thought she looked older. Maybe it's because of the crust that is, like, 2009 games. Maybe this is why, because just like the in-game, she kind of looks a little bit older here. Unlike Chris and Sheva being apparently problematic and like having no chemistry, Chris and Piers kind of have chemistry. Oh god, Piers is probably like 20. Hold on, while Chris is probably like 40. Hold on. Oh god. Okay, 87. Oh god, here we go. Hold on. Piers is 87. Oh, Chris is definitely 70 something. Chris is 73. How big is that gap? 73 and 87? That's 14 years. Yeah, no. Okay, never mind. Negate everything I was about to just say. Negate everything. Oh, I was about to say, well, there was kind of something there. I think Piers was more liking the legend that was Chris Redfield rather than wanting to bone Chris Redfield anyway. Ethan and Mia. What a tough one. Because Ethan did go on that whole journey to save her. They were headed to divorce. They had a baby and they thought that was gonna fix the relationship. No. I know you go through an experience like that and that's supposed to make you a stronger couple. Nah. But Ethan and me, I don't think they're terrible. I'm gonna put them at the very bottom of it's okay, I guess. Because they did get married, they did have a baby. But did I think they were gonna stay married? If they did, they'd have a super toxic relationship and like Rose would have just been around arguing parents the whole time. Ethan literally gets his arm torn off every 5 seconds for Yamiya, being a little bit grateful. Plus Miranda kidnapped her and bro didn't notice something was off. Yeah, like, these are the heterosexuals that just do not communicate with each other by any means. They do not talk to each other about shit. And that is the recipe for the worst kind of relationship you could ever have. Just nothing is ever getting communicated. Nothing. She could want a specific type of milk, but she just says, Ethan, I need milk at the store. And then, like a good husband, Ethan is like, alright, I'll go get milk. He picks up some type of milk. She's like, no, Ethan, you dumb shit. I wanted slim milk. He's like, well, you didn't say that. And then she's like, oh, you fucking idiot. You never do anything right. He's like, but babe, you just told me milk. And she's like, you don't listen to me because you don't tell him anything. You know what I mean? I could just picture that's the kind of relationship that they have, is that something will be bothering her, but she will not say shit to Ethan. You're supposed to read my mind. I don't think they're toxic in the sense of like physically abusive. I definitely don't think that happens, but they would just not work together. I definitely don't think they'd work together. I'm gonna leave them at the bottom of it's okay, I guess, because they never like got divorced or anything, but they were definitely headed towards it. Rebecca and Jill, I'm not gonna rate that one because, like I said, I don't really know Rebecca's character enough to rate it. Leon and Helena, you know, I don't think they'd be a bad couple by any means, but there's like barely anything there as well. Hold on, let me see how old Helena is, because Leon's definitely an old man. I have a feeling like Helena's gonna be like 23 or something. 89, oh god, that's not a good sign, because most of the pro tags are 70 something. So 89, 77, that's 12 years. 12? 13? Wait, that's 12. I don't know what Capcom's insistence. Like, I know that they're getting fucking old. Like, I know that they're getting old. But why can't you pair them with people that are around their age? I'm gonna put them above these two because we said this was, what, 14 years? I don't remember the gaps. But this is 12 years. They'd be cute friends, but romantic-wise, probably not. They had some decent moments, but Ada was in 6 as well, so you know where Leon's focus was at there. 5 to like 7 years, I'm okay with. Anything above 10 is where I'm like, ooh, I don't know about that. Oh god, who do I want to put above each other? I'm gonna give it to Helena and Leon above Chris and Jill, because I still feel like they kind of had a more, like, friendly thing. Meanwhile, this definitely seemed more like a work thing. I'll give Helena and Leon the edge above these, above Chris and Sheva. Oh god, what is this toxic pairing? Chris and Wesker. I'll put it, where do I want to put it in Just Terrible? Do I want to put him behind the creep? Wesker is like an actual criminal. Steve just almost does a criminal offense. So what is worse? Wesker like psychologically okay. I'll put it there. I'll put it there. Wesker does so much like bad shit mentally to Chris. I'll say that's worse, and Steve doesn't actually delve into creep territory. He almost does. So we'll leave it at that. It's not even like a they could be enemies to lovers situation or like hate fuck. This is like Jonathan Dio kind of like, no, they hate each other way too fucking much for anything to happen. I better not be seeing no Jonathan Dio shippers up in here. Alright, we got the last ship. Jill and Claire. My two awesome women here. I love women, what can I say? I have a feeling of where I want to put them. Because, like, they don't really interact. So we're thinking purely hypotheticals here. I'm gonna put them... They're gonna be in It's Great somewhere. Right. They're gonna be in It's Great. Because I can't put them in favorites, because they're not a real couple. Like, they don't interact. The potential of two badass women being together and, like, I could see Jill and Claire having an apartment together, being domestic. Just overall, a great ship. I could definitely see the potential there. Like, you know what? I'm gonna put them at the top of It's Great. I've seen art of these two. I've seen the potential. I haven't delved deep into the potential, but it's definitely there. I could definitely see these two having like a badass adventure together. If they really wanted to make another Revelations game, which I don't know if they will, Revelations 3, Jill and Claire, do it. Jill and Claire, have them go on an adventure together. Why not? Give me a co-op with Jill and Claire where they just be awesome together. Maybe low-key flirt with each other. They wouldn't know that they're flirting with each other, but have them flirt with each other. You know what I mean? Capcom, that sounds perfect. Now, just do it. I could see it. Like I said, I want to say that they're both bi girlies. Claire drives a motorcycle, or like stole one and drove it. Have a section. Jill shooting on the back of the motorcycle while Claire's driving it. I'm bringing up some great scenarios to the table, Capcom. Obviously, my favorite ship, is Jill and Carlos. My least favorite is Jill and Wesker.